I am back.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles.
Not now, Bill.
Spoils. I'm glad that Coulson still uses it. I'm glad. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a... I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats. Bonbon's restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear that...
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Roch's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do. Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
The Virgin Mary? I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me... For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him, then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person.
Like what?
Nothing fit, but I can tell you this. Laura...
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly...
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her. No matter that I told him to be... Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul.
If you'll indulge my curiosity...
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you. And that
Oh.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way...
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little...
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I would... What exactly...
I provide service.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what... I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be...
Can you tell me a bit more?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city... Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the... Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purpose.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good...
I think I'll take you...
All right, you'll have to give me a few minutes to hear...
Amazing! Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr.
You're very kind. I've got
I'll...
about...
I beg your pardon.
I don't know about this, Miles.
Actually, thank you for...
My pleasure.
Interesting. Those pots? That pattern resembles a flower.
So was the whole tea thing to get out of the room? Can I actually have tea? Confused about that point. I wonder what happens if I try to leave.
Aren't you going to have your tea?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into.
Suit yourself.
Unclear.
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes. Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me. I've never seen a flower grow that big.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Do you know anything about the events?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong.
What sort of heartless...
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Matt.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand. I just felt a sense of relief. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on...
Why don't
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want to...
Personally, I've always found
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr.
A rather forward question, Miss. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly... As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been...
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember.
What can you tell me about...
I'm not...
Why not start by telling...
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, but with Albert, I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of... It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and... As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute...
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but... If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't a... Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like...
Well, it's nice to see she's all...
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain...
Plants are amazing things. Just like people.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air.
Have you conducted any?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public.
Miss Montgomery, I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about...
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me...
But isn't...
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to... No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best...
That sounds awful.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really...
What can you tell me about...
Andrew, Mama, if you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world but he's in for a rude awakening someday.
No more questions for...
Then if you don't mind...
Those flowers. One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days.
Can we talk?
Go on.
I wanted to go...
Okay.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an office...
Makes sense.
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small...
Ah, yes. That would be Officer Grant. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being...
Is he refused?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the... I need to find some...
Well, you know,
I have a feeling it will take something at... That's enough about the...
Okay.
That's it.
Then...
She's running back. All that metal. P.D. Preston's patented, handsomely upholstered. I suppose if you and Adelaide ever... Simon Bank. I'm sure he's a... Professor Xander Colt Tit III's emulsified soporific. I really don't know why you think take... Dr. W.S. Sales Wonder Tonic. That prevents consumption, general weakness, fever. They should also mention that it Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely. These things seem to have had a... Green's Sulfur Soap. Beautifies the complexion and leaves you... Talk about false advertising.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got... Please.
Nice view of the river.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I... Please.
Looks like people have left. You may think it's... This quack hasn't got a riser. If we didn't... This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working. But right now, as an angel, this would probably be...
So... I have...
Oh,
What can you tell me?
I'm reminded of a parting is such. Let us part on good terms.
I found this bottle.
Yes, I take those from time.
You seem to...
Yeah.
Where do you usually...
Oh, they're available by mail order only.
Thanks for your time.
No.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very...
Amelie, please. I need to...
What? Well,
Juliet...
Miss Ju...
Yes, I spoke to her at the university.
Yes, that's right.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk.
All right.
Tell me about...
Oh,
It would greatly help my
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those... My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new... So I'm plenty happy working here doing real... But Madam can be...
difficult.
No,
What do you know about...
all I can tell you is that whoever...
Do you know Albert Martin, the man?
No,
What can you tell...
he ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after. Has a whole private part of the house. But I think he only uses one room. Better for me. Way less to clean.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it.
Are you the only...
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new guard. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madame's incident.
Thank you, Amelie.
You're welcome.
It's time. Yeah, looks like the type of spice. Judging by the amount. Certainly. Some guy. A horrible little porcelain figure. It must be a nice place. The science of... Decadent. A gent... Is this... What in the eth...
Lock.
I've never seen... Juliet, really? Nice little...
They're all...
Not to mention... Ooh. a much younger. Choice and consequence. I don't even. I read that. Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. One of those. Nothing else of interest. Nothing else of. You've got some.
Don't remind me.
Seems Madame Dupre.
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often. Nah. Probably want to.
No thank
Pieces of. Who's a pretty bird?
right.
So long.
Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for. This quack has. This fountain probably. There's an angel on. This would probably. This fountain probably looked nice. There's an angel on the fountain, but it doesn't look like it's. This would probably.
Could I ask you some? Albert.
The woman is cruel. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent it. So yes, but even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so.
I beg your pardon.
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
He's what? She's busy.
I'm here.
Welcome home. So what's this big case Upton's got?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well.
I certainly...
Addie?
Yes,
How's work going?
yes. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and I'll. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim?
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around.
I like it when you're clean cut.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other.
I've been.
Addie, you're not a very...
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you, there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but
I am all right.
you could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it.
I know Bill's death was hard for you, but whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to... It won't...
Making promises you can't.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your...
My wiles and.
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he... Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to...
Should we really be tricking a.
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right. Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind. Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor, unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one. And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work. I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can...
Although I think you may have already used up.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment. I'll see you at home later.
This just goes to... That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you? And
Perhaps she abandoned...
always What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is... Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side. I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1820. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance.
These crypts are reserved for future
There are only...
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't... This must be what was going to be Madame de...
I don't see anything in...
What? Were you expecting a...
No, but I was hoping for... Celine, 1823 to 1844. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746. Sarah Chesterton, 17... Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1840. Sarah Jane Desmond Chesterton, 1740.
I have to admit, it's a fairly ingenious...
have some questions for
Oh.
You'll never believe what I found.
Oh? Was it?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't.
I see you really are.
Look, Andrew, I'm willing to over.
Fine, but you have to understand.
I understand perfectly.
I suppose one would help. My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already.
Wow, that seems to have. I just hope we haven't doomed.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that mother is kind. She's even good enough to hire actual people. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see.
I take it Jean is.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died.
My condolences.
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral...
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely.
His hunting.
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind, considering what Mother just went through. Well, I would guess, although to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her
Why do people run away from their problem?
Do you know where this cabin?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions.
What can you tell me about your sister, Julie?
Juliet, smart as a despite being the only woman in her class.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how.
What exactly were the circumstances?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral.
What's your relationship?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though.
How is it you know Albert?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with...
So, you're running...
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students.
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like... And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met.
The sad part is it's.
That's a rather
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to...
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach...
Thanks for your time.
My...
So... Doctor, may I...
Please.
Tell me what you know.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does...
I take it you don't.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left...
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might...
I only wish...
Those are all the questions.
I hope...
Hello again, Miss...
Hello.
Is there anything you...
He's a kind man. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he...
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's married.
I'm starting to sense...
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting.
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really... Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp, about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery. No more questions.
Then if you don't mind,
Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon. One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting.
Let's see if Jean has anything.
Not very much.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite. I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world? An absolute... Are these even native? It seems Mr. Dupre is a bull. Not a very dignified... Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of... You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to...
Can we talk, Mr.
I suppose...
What can you tell me?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much...
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe...
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre.
Excuse me? Who are you to...
A fellow married man. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house with the police and I just needed to get away for a...
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre?
Horrible.
Do you have any idea why
Mr. Martin? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are with... You only need to take one look at him to see his... I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy...
Yes, I do. I consider myself something... It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being...
What about your home?
Truth be told, I'm not at home. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes...
Yeah, but what business...
What can you tell...
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to...
Yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to...
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all...
I'll be going now.
Au revoir.
Jean probably wouldn't... You know, I've heard...
Hello again, Miss
Hello.
Did your mother try?
As a matter of fact, she did.
What happened?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake.
I take it you were...
More than upset, Mr. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or I'd been given the chance to make something of myself. And Mother was
But in the end, you're still...
Yes. Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to...
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind,
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, it's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Can we talk?
Go on.
I wanted to...
Okay.
Jean Dupre isn't talking very much.
Well, you have a knack for making people...
There has to be something that'll make him talk. Perhaps I should... That's enough about...
Okay.
That's it.
Then...
This quack has... As amusing as it is to chat with this oddball...
Oh, Mr.
We haven't got anything else. Nothing else to...
Welcome back.
She's not gonna be...
I'm afraid that room is
Of course.
Interesting. Those... Or rather unremarkable. For all we know, that rider is some sort of...
Can we talk?
Go on.
I think
Okay.
it was Juliet.
Her daughter.
Madame Dupre disapproved of Juliet's relationship with Mr. Martin. Juliet grew to hate her and wanted to be free of her overbearing and control.
So...
Aside from studying botany, Juliet is also interested in ethericity. She rents a room in the Chum where she conducts her experiments. Among her notes, she talks about the ability to use the power to put living things into a death-like trance.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information, and it'll be bittersweet news for Mr. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have...
Juliet Montgomery?
yes, may I help you with something?
You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupre.
What? But how can that be?
Come with me, Miss Montgomery. We'll need to question you at the station.
Addie, I'm home.
I wonder if
Addie?
that was right. or
She
if
must
there's
still be
something
out at her
wrong.
hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm...
No, for once, this isn't... This is a...
Me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you...
You want to talk about me?
I just said, not right at this. Have you already forgot? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. But ever since you started taking that soporific, if you're serious about taking on more complex cases, it's already had a negative effect.
What are you talking about? We discussed.
Yes, but if you were working at your full ability.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night.
Well, things would change if you found.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk.
Yeah, well.
An understatement, if ever. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to.
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am. Or.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to.
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And
No,
of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded.
Yes.
Well, you certainly managed to. I only wish I could.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red, apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
Something simple, like the Anti-Steam Society.
That almost makes him sound classy. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
If there isn't a pair. Let her be. It might. You remember how much time Adelaide. At least these. I always. Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat. That's a fun.
Watching it.
I'd say. Oh, wouldn't you?
So?
Right.
What are you talking?
Never.
Addie can handle. Ugh, tastes like the devil.
You could.
Bill, now is not.
Miles, could.
Be right there.
Don't worry, Miles.
It would be.
I thought you were. It's admirable just how.
Who was that at the door?
A late night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Seems this case is rather urgent.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick in for another hour or so.
All right, I'm going.
Good night, Addie.
I don't know where any of this is going anywhere yet, so that's a bit of a frustration. Get this far into the game, it's kind of interesting, I just don't know what's relevant.
Hello, Up.
I'm glad you came, Fordham.
Shouldn't a respectable...
Only if you want to add born.
So,
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. The report came in tonight just before my shift ended. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
Harris, as in.
The very same. Owned by Malcolm's father, no less. Now you see why they wanted to keep this out of the public eye.
Indeed. If they manage to get a new transatlantic airship off the ground, it'll be an aura mine. I can see why they'd make an easy target. Okay, I'm on.
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out. Or if I'll be here all day tomorrow.
I think that's an inappropriate place to stop for the time being.